end of days. The first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity. Are you all right, my girl?
It was nothing, Uncle. Just a bad dream. We should be getting you home.
But there's still work to be done. If these translations are correct, the powers of hell could already be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness. You do believe me, don't you, Leah? It has begun.
Leave it, Uncle! It's not important!
Welcome, this is Korpah, and what you just saw was the intro from Diablo 3, which we will be looking at in this episode of Bought and Forgotten. Well, Diablo 3 isn't a very old game. I wanted to take a closer look at Diablo 3 in this series. Cause for me this game was totally bought and forgotten. I bought it on release in 2012, played it for roughly 60 hours and then got really bored of it and put it aside. The main reason for this was that it didn't felt like a Diablo game. On release, the developer Blizzard Entertainment had an auction house like you know from many other games. Players can put their loot on and other players can buy it. It sounded great, but turned out to be a horrible creation of Diablo himself. There was no need anymore to grind your gear, defeat that boss over and over to get some good gear. No, you simply bought it for either in-game gold or real money. So after I got bored of it, it catched a lot of dust on my hard drive and I never took a look at it again. Till I noticed that my Battle.net launcher was updating a game. I checked it and it turned out to be Diablo 3. After reading some patch notes and watching their awesome trailer again, and the trailer for the expansion pack Reaper of Souls, which has been released on 25th of March this year, my interest really was caught immediately again. So after logging back into the game, I saw all my old characters, my level 16 monk, my level 50 barbarian, so I decided to scrap them with all the gear, salvaged it and take all the gems out and started from scratch again. So what is Diablo 3? Well, I would describe it as an hack and slash RPG, which can be played on single player or in co-op multiplayer. In multiplayer, the difficulty of enemies and the loot drop rate are increased when someone joins. A party can exist out of 4 players, and it's also worthy to mention that Diablo 3 is an always online game, so keep that in mind if this game appeals to you. So let's take a look at the UI. To your bottom left you will see the chat window. There are different channels you can join, and these settings can be changed if you so desire. The red globe is obviously your health. If it hits 0 you die, and if you die you lose 10% of your durability from your items. And if you die while playing on hardcore mode, your game is over. So yes, there is permadeath in this game if you put that option on character creation. Then we have the skill bar, which exists out of 4 skills that can be activated with the default hotkeys of 1, 2, 3 and 4. Your left mouse button and your right mouse button. And there's a separate slot for your potions. After that comes the town portal, which gives you a quick and easy way back to town to sell your loot. And then we have some general windows, which don't need a lot of explanation, I think. There are skills, your inventory, quests and journal, achievement, and of course the game menu. The green bar next to it is latency. As I mentioned, Diablo 3 is an always online game, and you will lag if you have bad latency, even if you play in single player. And then we have the globe to our bottom right. This is your resource, and each class has their own resource and their way of obtaining it. As for the wizard, which I'm playing currently, it regenerates really fast, and you have some runes and skills which can regenerate some of your arcane powers. Further down to the right you will see the community buttons. Here you can manage your clan and manage your friends. To the right we have our objectives. Well, this is basically your main and side quests which are active at the moment. And to the upper right we have our minimap, the map name, difficulty setting you're currently playing on, and you have the actual time. And for the last part of the UI we will look to the upper left, where we can see our character name, level, health and the paragon level, and if you have one, your follower. We will be taking a look at the skill tree from the wizard. Just as an example, the wizard is currently my highest level character. It's level 61 and has a paragon level of 15. So let's take a look at the skills. As I described earlier, you can have up to 6 active skills, which you can see down below, and which are bound to 1, 2, 3, 4, your left and your right mouse button. You can also have up to 4 passive skills, which are quite a lot, and you will unlock more as you level up. Same goes for your active skills, and each active skills, they are divided up in groups. As you can see, a primary, secondary, defensive, force, conjuration, mastery. Those are the groups, and mostly they will have up to 4 or 5 different skills. So you can really have some variety going on. And besides that, each skill will have a skill rune, which will basically change the attack to something else. And this way you can really spice up the mix you can make with your active skills, and you can really make some interesting combinations. And changing skills, well, it can only be done when you're not in battle. So please take that into account. But switching a skill is very easy. You can either right click the skill you want to change and just select a new one and select a new rune and press accept, and you've changed your skill. You can also go to the skill window and from there select one of the 6 active skills you want to change, and again just press 1 and select the rune if you want. You can also select no rune, but mostly it's well, better to have at least 1 rune. You can select 1 rune up for 1 skill and press accept, and it's as easy as that. Some skills will have restrictions, like my armor. I can have only 1 armor active at a time. So there are some skills where you have to choose, like auras or armors, which one you want to have active at one time. And there's also crafting in this game. Crafting won't be accessible right from the start. You'll have to follow the main quest, and eventually you will find the blacksmith, which then you can use to craft various items. Crafting isn't that difficult, it just basically costs you resources and money. The blacksmith can be leveled up mainly through money, and eventually when you reach the high enough level you need certain items as well. As you can see, I need Death's Breath, and I can craft various items. Just keep in mind that whatever you craft will be character specific, which will mean that everything I craft, no matter what, will have wizard stats to it, so like intellect, vitality, and other stuff used for the wizard. So if you want to craft something, the best you can do that on the character you want to use it on. As the blacksmith becomes available and you begin a new game with a different character, the blacksmith will be available directly, so that's very handy. And you can craft weapons, you can craft armor, and there is also eventually, when you reach Act 2, you will find a gem smith, and what he can do is, well, craft various gems. Some items you find will have sockets to them, and those can be filled with gems, and as you can see, those will give different items or different stats even, and there are several gems, and each of them increase something differently. There's several colored gems, and he can also craft jewelry, although I haven't found a recipe yet. You can also remove the gems, and again you can train him, but eventually he needs certain items to level up further. So that's very nice. And the crafting, especially when you research the high level of blacksmith, it's very handy to craft, well, decent good items early on, especially when you start a higher difficulty game. Like I started a paladin game on Torment, and it was very handy that I could craft very decent items on level 5. It really helped me get through the beginning. So that's very nice. And to obtain the items you need in order to craft different items, as you can see, if I want to make an Exalted Sovereign Grievers, I need the listed resources, and you can get them by salvaging equipment you find, and salvaging. Also tap on the blacksmith, and when you click it you can destroy items, and when you destroy it you will gain resources back. As you can see, when I destroyed the shield I gained 1 tier, and well, as I saw them, I need them to craft other items. And you can melt down legendaries, which you will need again to make different legendaries. And this is the way how you gain resources. You can't scrap items you bought of vendors, so just keep that in mind. And when you destroy an item, it's destroyed permanently and it cannot be restored or regained. So make sure that you destroy the right items and not the equipment you want to wear. And as for the gameplay, apparently it isn't that hard. It's well, kill everything you see. And there will be some monsters which will be tougher than others. As you can see, we encountered an elite. These elites will have different skills. As you can see, this one is fast, the jailer, mortar, and teleport. Well, they can have a lot of different skills. I don't know them all by name, but they will be increasing in difficulty, and some can be really hard to kill when you get a bad combo. Like Waller, Mortar, Jailer, Fast, and there are even some more nastier ones that can really ruin your day and kill you in a few seconds if you're very unlucky. And in Diablo 3, besides strong elite monsters and champions, there are also big badass bosses. Here you can see a fight against the boss Belial. This fight took me around 10 minutes to complete, so it really felt like I was fighting a boss. And as you can see, the boss has several stages, and with every stage the boss becomes harder and harder. So while you can see how the fight progresses, let's make up a pros and cons list. The obvious pros for Diablo 3 are the cinematic cutscenes, which are really detailed and really nice. They add a lot to the story and to the immersion. Also, this game is very easy to learn and it's very easy to join your friends' games. Also, the classes you can pick from really feel different and distinguished. Not per se a con for me, but I could list it as a con. You need to be always online for Diablo 3. So that means without an internet connection you cannot play Diablo 3. So what makes Diablo 3 Diablo 3 and set it apart from other games? Well, beside the awesome cinematic cutscenes, I would say the easy to use interface, which is small and doesn't clutter up the whole screen. And that the way that they did the skill trees is very nice. You can make a lot of nice combos, and I can't say that one particular set of skills is the best. Every skill has their use and can be mixed up with the available runes. Also, with patch 2.0 they have introduced smart drops, which means that most of the items you find are useful for your hero. So when you finally find that legendary item after slaying 1000 demons, it's no longer, oh damn it, it has strength on it while I need intelligent based items. Also, the difficulty setting can be tweaked more compared before patch 2.0. So if you like a hard game, you can set it to be a hard game, and harder games are rewarded more with more experience, more gold and more drops. So while I do own the expansion pack, I sadly haven't completed the main story yet, so I cannot show you anything from Act 5 or the new game modes. But with the expansion pack, players can pick a new class, the Crusader, which has impenetrable armor, gleaming weapons and heavy damage. Wield the power of the Crusader, unbreakable new hero of the mortal realms, and it includes 2 additional character slots primed for all new heroes. There is a new act, Act 5. Heroes can level up to level 70 instead of 60, and there will be a new gameplay mode, Adventure, that opens up all of Sanctum, where you can travel to any waypoint in any act, and it introduced bounties and Nephilim rifts. I am not sure what this exactly is, but as Blizzard states, it will give you boundless replayability, and that's always good. But as you can see, I can play the Crusader. It's a new class and it really feels like a heavy tank bashing through the undead. After I leveled up my wizard, I think I will go with my Crusader as my main character. But we'll see about that, because I think I want to play Act 5 first. And for those that are interested, I will post the intro from the expansion pack on the end of this video. And now I will show you a piece of my favorite cutscene so far in Diablo 3.
You cannot judge me. I am justice itself. We were meant for more than this. To protect the innocent. But if our precious laws bind you all to inaction, then I will no longer stand as your brother.
You chose to be one of us.
Sacrilege!
That was a piece of my favorite cutscene so far. I hope I didn't spoil it too much, cause for those that haven't played Diablo 3 yet, the cutscenes are really a treat. So if this video piqued your interest about Diablo 3, check out the description down below for the link to the Battle.net store. At this moment Diablo 3 costs €40 or your regional equivalent. And the expansion pack Reaper of Souls also cost 40 euros, or the original equivalent. And Diablo 3 is needed for the expansion pack, so the total package would come down to 80 euros. And if you watched episode 1, you can see that I refined the format a bit, with more explanation and less actual gameplay. Please let me know if this is a good change so I can act on that for the next episode. Also remember that for this series I made a Google document with all the games in it that I own. And that if you want an episode about a game on that list, please let me know what game and why. You can do this through the comments on my videos on YouTube or by sending me a private message. The link to the Google document will be in the description down below. I'm looking forward to what games will be picked. So thanks for watching, this has been Korpah, and I will see you next time.
At long last, Osmodan shall reign as the prime evil.
Diablo was defeated. For a time it seemed we would know peace. But it was not to be. For Diablo's essence lingers in the Black Soul Stone. I cannot destroy the stone, nor allow its evil to remain within the heavens. And so it must be hidden, even from the angels. I pray that it will be enough. You have done well, Horadrim. Your service here is finished. And you should all run. Malthael. Brother, why? will stop you.
No one can stop death.